everyone, my name is Shishi O'Donnell and I am a love, life, and relationship coach, and I'm an angel intuitive with over 20 years experience helping people to move through fear and live a life that they love. And I am so honored to be here as a part of 1111 Unified. It's such a crucial time in the world of history right now with all of the separation and fear and stress and anxiety. Not to mention 37 million Americans are on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication. Actually, that was even before the pandemic. So imagine how many more have gone on it since then. We're in a kind of a 911 crisis in the world. It can be, very, very stressful to just go through the days, and people are needing support right now. So I love that all of us beautiful light workers, if you're here, obviously you're, a light worker on the light path of helping, being an earth angel or whatever your particular mission is. I became an everyday earth angel, or basically stepped into my new spiritual job after my sister died suddenly of a fever of unknown origin in 1997. She just had a sore throat and a headache and went to the hospital, and they said, there's something very wrong with you. We've got to check you in. And within a week, all her major organs had failed and she had passed away. And this was very shocking. And it caused me to really reevaluate my entire life. Like, who am I and what am I here for? And you can die any day. Oh my gosh, I better be doing something that I feel I'm here to do. And I started going into a deep space of silence, and I started meditating for the first time in my life. I quieted down all the busy monkey mind and activities. And, I was working 60, 70 hours a week, getting up at 7:30 in the morning, high heels, suits every day. I'm not getting up, sorry. I had to be at work in my suit in high heels at 7:30 a.m. and working till sometimes 7 or 8 p.m. My husband was also a workaholic at the time. We hardly ever saw each other. I cannot say we were passionately in love, even though we were together for 8.5 years. Anyways, my sisters really gave me a gift that day, and it was a crisis for me to kind of have a wake-up call to ask those big questions, like who am I and what am I here for? And someone gave me the book Embraced by the Light, which was a story of a near-death experience that this woman, Betty Eady, had. And when she went to the other side, it was just pure unconditional love. And I remember just bawling my eyes out because I'd been raised with a lot of fear-based teachings, being Catholic, like if you don't follow the rules and if you die with a mortal sin on your chest, you're going directly to hell. And I guess I still had that. I was 28 at the time. And I had this fear-based programming very deep. So I went into a space of just reevaluation. I got very quiet for the first time ever with no distractions. I canceled my cable TV. I stopped opening mail. I stopped listening to pop music or any kind of music except for one CD called The Drone by a beautiful composer who lives in Phoenix. His name is Harold Grandstaff Moses. Now, this song was just basically a 53-minute song of the breath of God, or the song of the spheres. It was just like, and I'm sure my neighbors thought I was completely insane. But this space of quiet just got me in touch with just spirit and God. And, for the first time ever, I really felt connected, not from a place of supplication, dear God, please, 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 and all this fear, but from a place of total inspiration and awe, and just synchronicity started happening. And guess what I started seeing everywhere on every clock or anywhere I was 1111. That was the first awakening code I saw. And I started Googling, what does 1111 mean? I've never even, this must mean something. And I ran across a website by a woman named Solara, and she wrote a book called The 1111 Doorway in 1992. So I, started learning about it and repeating numbers. And it was saying that when it's your time to remember your soul's purpose, you will have awakening codes and have these synchronicities happening that are guiding you in a higher direction or a higher path. And my life completely changed from one of making so many fear-based choices. Like, I married my husband because I was scared of being alone and then I couldn't survive. And I chose every job I chose because I was scared of surviving. So it was always that fear-based survival template that was running me behind the scenes. And I wasn't making a lot of heart-centered choices based on inspiration and what my purpose was. I was making, the way our culture is like survival and fear. And I started to have these mystical, miraculous things happen. I got a free trip to Hawaii, and that really changed my life. I met a gentleman there who said, I'm going to Europe for 3 months if you want to sublet my place. And I had gotten separated from my husband. I started writing songs. I started communing with spirit. I started just being guided to all kinds of magical things. All I was doing was just following this thread of synchronicities. And all of a sudden, I just packed up my car and literally gave away all my monkey suits and heels and everything. And I was like, all of a sudden, I'm an angel on Venice Beach with wings, playing my guitar and singing and doing angel readings. And it was so what my soul was dreaming of. When I was working full time, I used to fantasize, like, what would it be like to be a princess or a queen, that you make your own schedule and you decide what you want to do and you're free. And I thought, that's impossible. How could you do that? And so what I desired was, more than anything, was freedom. And that's exactly what I had. And I was always guided day by day, always shown, or inspired to go here, go there. And I had so many incredible experiences. My 20th anniversary of being in LA was October 6th, because I moved here right after 9/11, 2001, and it's now 2021. So it's been 20 years of earth angeling. That's been my job. So, showing up, following synchronicities, how can I serve, and being open. And I had Facebook albums, and I would just put the month and the year on them all. I have like so many pictures on Facebook, it's ridiculous. If you want to find me, it's Shishi O'Donnell. But I would just be in awe of all the miraculous things I was guided to do. I would be invited to red carpet, celebrity events, doing readings at really high level, beautiful millionaire homes, doing music, writing my own songs. I had several bands and played at all the cool clubs on the Sunset Strip. And, I got to live my dream of being a musician, singing, and have my songs on Spotify. If you want to find them, I have my first album that I released on 11/11/2020. It's called Waking Up. And I have another one on Spotify called Clear, that my CD release party was 11/11/2007. So, and I've been celebrating 11/11s ever since then, having angel circles, events, workshops. Basically, I am here to be of service to help other people awaken on their spiritual path, get clarity on their purpose, and start living it. Now, guess what happens when you do that? And even though I've had my spiritual path and been on an awakening journey for 20 years, I still have fear come up in me and have to move through it. And part of that is like, we're all born divine. We're all part of God. We're little beautiful babies. We're innocent. We come to earth. We're like, pure love. We are made of love. The divine love intelligence that governs the universe is living, breathing through us. And all it takes is to look at a baby's eyes to know that. And then as soon as we're here for a little while, things start happening that cause pain or trauma, with a small t or a big T, whatever it is. It could be a look on your mom's face of grumpiness, or it could be, just tapping into watching other people have traumas, and we decide things as we're growing up of what that means. It's not a safe world, or I'm not loved, nobody loves me. And then we're trying to, basically our nervous system is overriding things to keep us safe. It's doing a great job. A lot of people say, I'm scared to live my purpose, or I'm scared to do this, or scared to do that. And I know what I should be doing, and I won't, and I can't do it. I just can't move forward. And that is because our nervous system is so powerful, being 500 million years old, in mammals and humans. This is designed to do the fight, flight, or freeze thing. So there's something called the polyvagal system. And the lowest one is immobilization. When we are hit by something that causes us stress, or we're trying to expand. So it's a little bit tricky, because the antidote to trauma is to find and live take action toward your life purpose. But that often is what brings up trauma. And many of my clients have been trying so hard to keep themselves safe, whether it's with relationships, keeping a wall around their heart so they don't get hurt, or whether it's, taking risks as far as leaving a corporate job or a full-time job to go out on their own. But, often what is said is like, I know what I should do, but I can't do it. And that's because it's not just your mind thinking, oh, I know what I should do. The body literally will shut down the prefrontal cortex, or the executive functioning. You can't think straight when you are stressed if it's a certain level, and you go into paralysis or immobilization. The other one that's slightly above that we're very familiar with, which is the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, flight, or the fight or flight, basically. When something, we interpret it as a threat, and the nervous system wants to keep you safe. You're either going to fight this tiger. It's not a tiger anymore, but that used to be it back when we were trying to survive in the saber-toothed tiger days. Now it could be so much as a person's tone, like a boss yells at you in a certain tone, and we just go into a complete fight, flight, or freeze. Many people just hide out and try and duck the radar, and some people fight back, and whatever it is. And that top level of the polyvagal system is the ventral vagal, which has to do with co-regulation, breathing deep. So the fastest way to intercept that fear-based trauma system that can be triggered at any moment is breathing deep, because that basically activates and relaxes the nerve, the vagus nerve, which is one of the largest nerves in our body. It starts at the back of the head, comes through the throat and down through the abdomen. And when you take a deep breath, so let's just do that and take a deep breath together. And the longer the exhale, the more you get out of that fight, flight, or freeze, or immobilization. It's the best hack. And it's funny, even before I knew the science or the neuroscience behind that, I was always telling people, when you're stressed, pull the car over. If you usually will find out that you're breathing shallowly, and put your hands on your heart and think of a puppy or a kitten or a bunny. So let's just do that. Think of a puppy or a kitten or a baby bunny or a baby hedgehog in slippers. I've been looking at animals in costumes. Anyways, I'm really a real big fan of hedgehogs. So let's just think of a baby hedgehog. So freaking cute. My heart just opens. I want to just squeeze that little hedgehog, not too hard, but just a little bit. And my heart feels so much love just for this little beautiful creature that God made. And then I'm going to turn that same love that I'd feel toward any beautiful little animal or a baby in on my own little shishi, my own inner child. And I actually do remember one of my favorite memories, and this is how you co-regulate, is breathing deep and thinking of these, opening your heart, getting in your heart out of your head, where the stress is residing is in your head. So I would think of a moment when my dad used to go in my ear. I know that sounds so funny, and it would just make me laugh hysterically. I was probably 2 or 3 years old when he would do that to me. And I just think of that moment, and instantly I'm just so lit up, and I feel so loved, and I feel so happy. And that takes me out of the fight, flight, or freeze. So, it can be challenging to be on planet Earth, And yes, we are divine, but we're also human. So I still get triggered probably daily. Whether a perfect example is like the road rage thing. When a car cuts you off, people feel anger or rage often, because fear and rage are alternating states. So I still can have that come up, unless I'm really jamming in my zone and I've done a lot of meditation. I'm in that 0 point and I'm just like oming up a storm. On a regular day, if I'm not really regulated, you cut me off, I will be mad, and I may scream profanity out the window. It has happened. And, it is a muscle. The more you learn, you can intercept it, not necessarily before it happens sometimes, but you can stop it from going out of control by breathing deep, telling yourself the truth, you're not going to die. And so I'm a big fan of jumping out of the matrix, which is the fear-based reality of lack, scarcity, stress, separation. It's like us against them, and there's so much division nowadays. I'm about the 5D unity consciousness, and that's what 1111 Unified is all about. And many, many, many people, especially a lot of the young people, are just so inspiring to see how many woke TikTokers and on spiritual TikTok and everywhere you look that are aware of the game, that this is a game, and that we're here for more than just to be slaves, giving our whole life force energy for somebody else's dream, and being exhausted and having no energy left for what really matters, which is love, relationships, our passions, sharing, creating things. We're so happy when we're creating something in the, because we're made in the image and likeness of the ultimate creator. We're happiest creating. We can only watch so many video games and other people's movies and Netflix shows. It's kind of a little temporary happiness, but we're happiest when we are birthing something new. That's the ultimate creation, obviously birthing a human. And if you're not birthing humans, or if you're doing both, it's wonderful to be birthing your new visions. It doesn't have to be the arts, traditional arts like music, art, or theater or film or whatever. It can be creative business solutions, any type of creativity. So I'm here to help people learn how to strengthen that nervous system so that it can be more adaptable and not be so inflexible, where we really don't have a say and we're actually stuck. So that is part of my passion. And I have created a beautiful program called Live a Divine Life. And it's meeting every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time for 1 hour. And that new section will be starting on December 12th, 2021, 12/12/21. And I would love to make a special offer for all of those who are listening to join me and get off your little island of trying to do things yourself, and we're going to call it Who Wants to Play the Game of Living a Divine Life. And we're going to do group activities. I'm going to give teachings and make suggestions, and it'll be doing it in a community. And as you are joining together, seeing what other people are struggling with, and coming up with hacks and creative ways to get into your heart center and to be living your purpose and get clarity on your purpose and taking action steps and be accountable to other people in the group. It's going to be very, very magical. And it just takes, it's not like it's a one and done thing. Like, here's your purpose. Okay, great. Have a nice day. It literally is the action of living and being your purpose every day is something that takes practice. In my work, I've had the privilege of coaching all people from all walks of life, but I love relationship coaching. Many people are in a, either they're wanting to find their soulmate, and that's something I can help with, or they're in a, marriage that they hate and want a divorce. And I have helped people either get a divorce or stay in a marriage. One couple was on the verge of a divorce and had been separated for 3 months. And after coaching with me, they got back, not only back together, but have more passion for the last several years than they had even at the beginning of their marriage, even though they were both at one point 100% sure they wanted to separate. And when you are coming from the mind, you'll always be looking for what's wrong. I call that the hell on earth state. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with the world. There's something wrong with everything. Everything is wrong. And if you start looking at what's right, there's so much beauty. There's so much good. There is so much. That's the heaven on earth state. That's what we're all creating. We're learning to create that moment by moment. That's what it means to live a divine life, to bring the energy of heaven to earth. I've also coached, business owners, different CEOs of multiple companies. I have helped people leave their full-time job. One woman left a full-time job working in the gaming industry and wanted to be a consultant, and she was very scared. So I've been working with her for 3 years. And she left her full-time job. She became a consultant with Google and with Nickelodeon, all other big companies, a company in the Middle East, to have to do with game development and data, stuff like that. And she is starting her own company and game, and is getting venture capitalists, got her first venture capitalist seed money of $750,000. And she is very ecstatic. So it's getting out of a limited thinking that it has to be this way and getting into anything is possible. There are infinite possibilities. Miracles every moment can happen for you. I've taken people who have been really stressed out. There's a 17-year-old girl I'm coaching in Louisville who's like a super perfectionist, and she used to have so much anxiety, and I've been working with her for about 6 months. She's so much happier. She used to feel stressed about everything. She's a track star, and she's always trying to beat her personal best. But the irony is, like, whenever you have a goal and you meet it or pass it, then there's a new goal. And if you're never going to be happy, what's the point? I'm a big fan of, yes, still achieving results and going for things and having ambition. But I'm also a fan of, to live a divine life means to live life imperfectly with great delight. That means having fun on the journey. That's what it's all about. And definitely with a very high focus on relationships, because the quality of our life depends on the quality of our relationships. You can accomplish, I mean, I have coached many, many very wealthy people who are not happy. So we know that money doesn't necessarily bring you happiness. I mean, at least if you make at least 80,000, it's not going to make you more happy to make 120,000 necessarily. I mean, it is great, but so, but you know, I've had people who were what I would consider to be super rich that were stressed about money, including someone who was on the Forbes billionaire list and was stressing about dropping down a number. I mean, that is really one of the biggest irony of all ironies. So I am all about the richest person is the person who has inner peace and loves their life and celebrates every moment and breathes easy and is happy and has wonderful, loving relationships. Those are the people who are living their purpose and remembering their divinity. And when you remember your divine, if you want to just picture the sun in the middle of you shining, this is connected to the sun in our solar system, and it's connected to the grand central sun in the center of the multiverse, is billions and billions of times bigger than our sun. And that's the solar plexus, let's just say, of the creator, Father, Mother, God. And it's shining through you as you. It's impossible to be insecure, feel not worthy, feel not lovable when you remember that you are divine. So that is one hack if you're ever nervous for a job interview or a hard conversation you want to have, or talking to a VIP and you feel less than. If you just picture that sun and you remember you're divine and you really embody and remember, you know, feel that, it's very, very powerful. So just because we're divine and just because we're human and make mistakes and we have this nervous system and we have been born into a world that's been pumping fear into us, you know, since childhood, doesn't make it any less precious that we're human. So I love to embrace the humanity and the divinity. In fact, I'm writing a book about my life story called Humangelic. Human and angelic. Put it together. That's all of us. We're all both. And the shadow side, those fears, they're all beautiful. And when I feel scared or I feel angry, I give myself more love, not making myself wrong. Like when your car is about to run out of gas, it shows you. And some people would say, oh, it's about to run out of gas. Like, that's bad news. It's really good news, because then you don't run out of gas and get stuck somewhere. It's giving you information. And just like that gas gauge, our nervous system, our bodies are always giving us information, basically 24/7, a feedback system in our bodies if we're in alignment with our soul's purpose or our soul or not. And we can tell by not feeling good. Whenever we have those thoughts, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, no one loves me, you know, I'm not doing enough, I should be succeeding more, you know, and we have these thoughts, we feel bad. And that's because you're just telling yourself a lie. You're believing a lie. So being divine and human is a beautiful journey. And often the times of our biggest growth come from crises or challenges. So it's not all lollipops and roses and everything's easy. A lot, like for example, when my sister passed, that was one of the biggest challenges in my life, and it was very, very wrecked. But on the flip side of that, it caused me to have my spiritual awakening, and that's when I had a lot of growth. And different breakups over the years caused me a lot of growth. And I mean, being on the playing field with relationships, like I was married to what I consider to be the wrong person later for 8.5 years of my 20s. Then I was just kind of not really that into dating. I was doing a little bit of, let's say, light dating. And then about 3 years ago, I said, I want to meet someone who is not only like physically wanted to adore me, but also was great at expressing love and emotionally in love, and just to, you know, have this beautiful, I basically wrote it on a piece of paper and I did a full moon ceremony and I manifested this gorgeous man in the hot tub at LA Fitness. And I was 50 years old at the time, and I had been swimming every day for 21 days. And I was swimming thinking, what would it be like to be in a relationship with someone who is emotionally available and really wants to be in a committed relationship? And literally I met him when I got out of the pool, and I didn't feel my best. I will say I felt I didn't look that good, but it didn't matter. It was like a total soul connection, and we've been together for 3 years. But what I was going to say is that it hasn't all been perfect. We broke up 3 times, and I cried my heart out. I mean, it's very scary to open your heart after you've been sort of playing it safe for a while, to really be. And I've had so much growth. Both of us have grown leaps and bounds in 3 years of learning what does it mean to be in a committed relationship. What does it mean to be vulnerable and to share everything and to share your fears. And we've healed each other so much of past things we didn't even realize we had, and we've grown together, and I'm so grateful. And I mean, to think like at 53 years old, I'm having more passion, and we're crazy about each other. We literally can't wait to see each other every single day. We're just completely madly in love. I mean, it's not a perfect relationship. We have some things that we're different about. For example, he's very, very organized and clean. I'm not dirty, but I'm not like super, super organized. I'm a little more ADD, and, you know, so there are things we have to work through. And he's also not I'm a total social butterfly. I love to go places. And I was, the first 3 years was dragging him places, and he was just kind of like, And, you know, so it's, but there's so many beautiful things that are in harmony. I'm not going to say we're going to live happily ever after and get married tomorrow, but I'm so grateful that he is in my soul group, one of my soulmates, and has helped. Really what soulmates are for is to help each other grow and evolve. And he has done a very great job of that. So grateful to have him in my life. And, so there are challenges along the way, and those are a part of it. Like, you know, there's the story about the man who saw the butterfly that was trying to get out of the cocoon. And he finally felt so bad because it had one wing out every day, one wing out, one wing out. And he's like, this poor butterfly, let me help it out. And he cut it out of the cocoon. And that butterfly could never fly because it gets its strength from the struggle. So the butterfly just limped along on the ground and never got to fulfill its potential. So sometimes we might try and rescue children or friends or people, you know, from their predicaments, and we think we're helping, but actually they are meant to be getting. I have learned a lot about strength by you know, really seeing what am I made of. And mainly the truth is, you know, when you are trusting and when you're in your heart and you're following the synchronicities, you're being taken care of the whole time. I am being guided. I am being shown. I'm always being supported. I haven't made it a priority to become a millionaire yet, but if I decide to, I could. Really, what you focus on expands. What I was focusing on is having as much fun as humanly possible. And I did do that for the last 20 years. I have had so many incredible experiences over these 20 years. One of the highlights was basically an actor who was one of my celebrity crushes that I actually got to give a reading to for 45 minutes, and he cried in my arms, and I was like, is this really happening, God? Thank you. I mean, not that he was crying. He wasn't crying because he was sad. He was crying because of realizations. And just living that miraculous life where things that you couldn't have predicted just come to you because they were your deep heart's desires. So I invite you to join a group of beautiful heart-centered beings that will be led by me, and we're going to practice tackling this 500 million year old nervous system and learning how to co-regulate and learning how to release stress and learning how to create a flexible nervous system so that we can follow our purpose and take scary action without our body shutting down and going into fight or flight. And, you know, supporting each other in doing what we say we want to have in our lives. And it's beautiful to not try and do everything by yourself. We're meant to be in community. And so that's what I'm offering, is a Divine Life community every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We will be getting together and learning special techniques and tips on how to live the highest version of our divine lives. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to my presentation. You can visit my website at liveadivinelife.com, liveadivinelife.com, to sign up for the special $97 for 3 months, which is 1 month free. After the 3 months, you can carry on if you want to for $44 a month. But if you came to it through this, there will be a special promo code of 1111 that you can put, that will give you 1 month free. Anyways, I wish you so much love and every good thing, and lots of synchronicities and all your heart's desires coming true. Thank you for being on the team of creating heaven on earth. with all of us here at 1111 Unified. Blessings.